to Victor Chief Gaming, and I know it's a bit of a different intro than normal, but I feel like I need to quickly explain something. So we record these episodes in batches, like big 2.5 to 3.5 hour batches, and if a technical issue occurs, it'll go all the way through. We always try to prepare for everything, but sometimes things go wrong, and in the case of these Puyo Puyo Tetris episodes, something did go wrong. So I break them up into 3 tracks, basically. I have my own track, I have the game's audio, and I have Kathlynn's track. My track and the game audio, perfect. No problems whatsoever. Kathlynn's one, though, for whatever reason, she sounded like a chipmunk. You couldn't make out what she was saying. I brought it down to 1/5 speed. You could kind of hear what she's saying, but for some reason, it seemed to be like, every half second was missing. It was just an absolute mess, and so we were trying to figure out what to do. And in the end, what we settled on, despite, all of our efforts, some of her voice does manage to get into my microphone. I did a bit of a cycle of bringing up my audio track many, many times so that you could actually hear her. I set it up as the 3rd track, and I tried to cut out all the bits where I speak because it was ungodly loud. So you can hear what she's saying. It sounds really rough. It's not good quality, but it was either that or leave her out. And there's some really funny moments with her. So that's why I wanted to try to leave it in. You will have to bear with it for the next bunch of Puyo Puyo Tetris episodes. But for the meantime, please sit down, enjoy our little banter. It is. So the pieces are much smaller, do you see? So I'm curious to see, if you can do this one. Because I don't quite understand how the levels thing works again. Is it like thresholds, or is it the number that pops up? Or whatever, yeah, but rodents are insanely diverse. In fact, I don't know if you know this, but of all mammals that are alive today, 40% of the species are rodents. That's almost half. You focusing?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I should be expecting that, shouldn't I? So, the second largest group of mammals in terms of species is actually bats, which makes sense because bats can fly, and so they can end up in a lot of different environments that...
Hear it anyway, apparently.
That's good. I don't quite understand what you're meant to be doing here.
Neither do I.
You're just popping things.
Maybe it just means pop things.
But surely you can get much higher if you, did actual chains.
Yeah,
I'm not sure, is it the number of them you pop, or is it the amount of points you got?
No, it just had to reach a certain level.
Yeah. I'm just wondering how that works. So that makes sense. But then, here's an interesting one. So the 3rd largest group of mammals in terms of species is actually an interesting little group, because we actually have a couple of them in Ireland, a couple of these species. So, do you know what a hedgehog is?
What?
Have you seen hedgehogs?
Yes! Okay, what?
Why are you so taken aback by my question?
What a hedgehog is?
Well, here's the thing. Do you know that, at least in the past, I don't know about today, in the past, Americans thought that hedgehogs were fictional.
That doesn't even surprise me.
You got 3 stars.
Oh, okay.
I don't even know what you were doing. But,
I did well.
you see, there's no hedgehogs in America, you see.
Okay. Then where did oh wait, no, Sonic is from Japan, never mind. They have Sonic the Hedgehog over there.
Yeah, but they thought Sonic was like a fictional animal.
Well, he is fictional. Because hedgehogs aren't blue.
Yeah, but not...
They don't wear runners. And they don't run very fast. Actually, they're kind of slow.
Also, they don't eat chili dogs.
Well, and they have little tiny feetses.
They do, yeah.
They're very spiky.
They are, yes. So hedgehogs, they are part of a group that contains 3 other types of animals. So do you know what a shrew is?
I do know a shrew, yeah. They're also very reliable.
So you have your shrews, you have your hedgehogs. Now, we don't have these in Ireland, but they do have them in Britain, actually. Moles.
I know what moles are, yes.
So those 3 are all part...
No, Thumbelina, you know what a mole is.
It had to go back to Thumbelina, didn't it?
Yeah, I love Thumbelina.
Yeah, well, that's an interesting choice. I don't think it's terrible. So, like, you remember who directed that, right?
It's that guy, like, I know he directed a few other movies that you mentioned before.
I like how
I know it.
I was so persuasive. It's like, it's that guy you like. You've seen a load of his movies.
I know.
So, it's a guy called Don Bluth.
That's it, yes, him.
And Don Bluth, I can give you the order of movies he directed. So,
He directed Thumbelina. We watched that one, that adventure? That one which we watched again.
we, as in you and I?
Yeah, you need to watch one of his movies here once before that you showed me.
Was it The Secret of NIMH?
No, I've seen that before. But not with you.
Okay, wait, so I'll list them out and you can tell me. Pink-haired character coming up, by the way. So you have The Secret of NIMH, that was the first one. Then you had An American Tale.
I love American Tail as well.
Then you had The Land Before Time.
Yes.
Then you had
Your childhood.
All Dogs Go to Heaven.
Yeah, he basically directed the cartoon movies of my childhood besides Disney.
Besides Disney, yeah. I forgot that she's so, like, hostile, Rafina.
I like her. Oh, she's pink. I like her attitude.
The fact she's just got these dead eyes.
Yeah, she looks just gonna cut you.
But, we'll come back to the other group in a second, but just go on with Don Bluth. So after that was Rock-a-Doodle-Doo.
I know of it, but I don't think I watched it. This turkey, the
Rooster.
yeah.
Do you know that it has some live action segments, and those live action segments were filmed in Ireland?
Interesting.
Because they actually had an animation studio up in Dublin, you see. So actually a bunch of those movies were animated in Ireland. After that came, I think that's when Thumbelina came. Oh, see that slowdown thing again. I wonder why that was.
No, Thumbelina.
Then, sorry, okay, this is a new mode, I need to explain this. This is called Swap. So Swap is basically, you're going to be playing both Puyo Puyo and Tetris. And it's going to be alternating between two different boards.
Oh, okay.
So all you need to do is knock them out on one board.
And do I swap it or do they swap it randomly?
It's timer based. You see the timer in the middle. So anyway, then after that came A Troll in Central Park.
I know of it, but I haven't watched that.
Yeah, well, you're not really missing out much on that one. I guess a little bit of, like, Dom DeLuise. But, and then the last one he did before the studio got bankrupted was Pebble and the Penguin.
Oh, maybe I didn't watch it. It's a different movie I'm thinking of that I watched with you.
But he did direct 3 more. Are you thinking about... by the way, I think I might have figured out which movie you're talking about. Are you talking about Ralph Bakshi and Wizards?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. Why?
Well, Ralph Bakshi was like another very significant animation figure. Like at the time, it was like Disney movies, Don Bluth, and Ralph Bakshi, and there was like the 3 big kind of American animators. So.
Actually, I've been playing this for ages now, switching between 2 fucking boards.
Well, I'll leave you be with that.
Is that? Do you have to lose on both boards?
No. You just have to knock them out on one board. And so you can even time it so that if you do something on a board, it switches, and then the penalty carries over from that previous board.
Oh.
I think it's called a swap combo. But he was put in charge. So Fox, you see, a lot of animation studios at the time, they were very interested in setting up animation studios of their own because they saw how successful Disney was being, you know. So you saw a lot of these other studios. I won't go too much detail into them, but Fox set up their own Fox Animation Studios, and they were like, okay, we've set up our studio. We need someone to head it. Why don't Don Bluth? His company just went bankrupt. Why don't we hire him to be the head of our new animation studio?
And didn't he do Wizards?
No, he didn't do Wizards. That was Ralph Bakshi.
Okay.
Wizards was like a month or 2 before the original Star Wars.
Oh.
That was in the 90s. So what he directed, the first movie that came out of Fox Animation Studios, and it was directed by Don Bluth. I think he also, someone else co-directed it with him, was Anastasia. You know Anastasia?
Yes, I do.
So then he also did. He was involved in that spin-off. What was it? Bartok the Magnificent.
I kind of enjoyed that. It wasn't as good as Anastasia, but it was fun.
I have issues with it, but I can.
It's just something stupid and fun.
Well, you kind of took the words out of my mouth there with one of them, but I'll talk to you in a moment about that. So, and then the last one he directed was Titan AE.
I didn't know that one.
And that bankrupted the... Well, I say bankrupted. Fox were just very stingy because they had 2 big successes and then they had 1 failure. And they were like, okay, time to shut it down. But yeah, Don Bluth, he's quite a figure. Let me quickly finish one thing I was talking about earlier and then I'll move on to...
Oh, fuck, I fucked up there.
Okay, so I'm just gonna finish. So we were talking about the hedgehogs, the shrews, and the moles, remember?
Yes.
Well, did you know that there was a 4th group within there? And it's a very small group, literally consisting of only 2 species from the Caribbean. They're called solenodons. Have you ever heard of them?
No.
So kind of imagine a shrew if it was thicker, much bigger, and was venomous.
That sounds kind of terrifying.
I think they're big like a kilo. They're about a kilo big, I think. I can get you a picture of them in a while. They're quite interesting looking. But yeah, so I finished that one, and then oh yeah. So actually, since you brought it up, I may as well go on to Bartok the Magnificent. So Bartok. Now, it's not that it was a joyless movie. There was some joy. I would say mainly due to some of the vocal performances, though. So, do you remember the bear in that movie?
Oh, it's been so long. No.
Okay. So you probably don't remember who voices him, right?
No.
So it's a guy called Kelsey Grammer. Do you know that guy?
No, of course, the grammar, yes.
Do you know what he's done?
I can't remember what else he's been, but I recognize the name.
So, in terms of live action acting, by far and away his most famous performance, oh good god, was Frasier.
Oh, okay, I know Frasier.
But in terms of voice acting, he's actually done a lot of voice acting. So you might know some of these. So, he was... Do you remember Toy Story 2?
Yes.
Do you remember The Prospector?
Oh, yeah, I do.
He voiced him.
Oh!
But arguably his most famous voice performance is actually Sideshow Bob from The Simpsons.
Yeah.
So, do you notice they all have like very posh voices?
Yeah.
Those characters. Except maybe Stinky Pete from Toy Story. That was a bit different. But do you remember that the bear in Bartok was quite posh as well?
I think so. God, I can't really... It's been so long.
You won, by the way.
Oh, I won. How did I win? I'm actually not watching the other board. I don't have more points this time. Oh my god, 3 stars!
I wonder how... Was it points based? I don't know. But anyway, you managed to beat her, so let's keep on going. Also, you're on 2-8. That's really good.
What? That's not really good.
So, hang on. Keep going. I'll talk more in a moment. Oh, okay. Well, so what I was saying was 2-8, which is the 8th stage of Act 2.
Yeah, so I'm really for today. Oh, no, I like this girl.
Just from the look.
No, I like her more.
Fair enough. I'm just saying, time-wise, we're doing pretty well, I think.
Oh yeah, Enter the Goth Girl. Yeah, my favorite's this girl now.
You love the goth girls, do you?
I do like goth girls.
What are, like, famous goth girl characters that you like?
Rory Mercury from Gate was my favorite in Gate. She was kind of a gothic-y looking old little girl.
Is Gate an anime? I think it is. Right?
Manga, yeah. My favorite character in my little sister can't be super talking before was the friend Ineki made that dressed like a gothic Lolita as well. Panty from Panty and...
I forgot that she counts as a goth.
She's
so wacky that...
Is a game I played. Oh, something. It's like some beaten with the girls and it was kind of gothy and she was my favorite.
trying to remember. I have this image of a goth girl in my head, but I can't remember what she's from.
It's weird. I'm either going to read like the overly ditzy fun girl or the goth girl. It's good.
Not in between.
No, I did like the sisters while my sister became this cute, but I liked Nekohime a little more, and I shipped him with Nekohime, and I'm really glad that the canon ending is with her and not the other ending.
That sounds like a spoiler to me.
They did 2 endings.
Okay.
It was like an Ottoman game as well.
Oh, if it's multiple paths, then...
Yeah, so they did 2 endings because of the whole shtick of the girl, the sister being into Ottoman games. So the ending did have 2 different paths. There was 2 different endings, so one is considered canon and the other one isn't.
Okay, that's fair. So, back to Bartok.
Why can I never play as the goth girl?
You might get the opportunity to. You can unlock them and play them in like the other modes.
Oh, okay. Oh, so make both again.
So, Bartok. So the problem I had with Bartok. So I had a few problems with Bartok. There were some aspects of it I just mentioned, like I thought Kelsey Grammer was quite charming as the bear. There was a great bit where the bear was talking to the door. Do you remember the door that locks Baba Yaga away? And the door was voiced by Tim Curry. And it was great to listen to Tim Curry and Kelsey Grammer have a conversation. So there was that.
Yeah.
It didn't look that bad, the movie. It was obviously much cheaper than Anastasia.
But obviously.
But, you know, it wasn't terrible looking.
Like, when I think of that movie, I think it was just made for kiddies.
It was. But this is part of the problem, you see, because I think its biggest failure is that it fails to do what it kind of was meant to do. And that is to serve as a prequel. So, the thing is, what is the purpose of a prequel? In your personal opinion?
Oh, my personal opinion or company's personal opinion?
Well, I think I know what the company's personal opinion is.
Yeah, the company's to make money.
Yeah. But I'm talking more from an artistic side.
To extend on the story and the characters.
Expand on it, yes.
Well, yeah, extend with fans, same thing to the one.
Yeah.
Well, you got, yeah.
I got what you're saying.
That would be the ideal prequel. Realistically, that's not it. A prequel is what will make the money.
So, with regards to Bartok, so I was hoping, it was a foolish hope, maybe now thinking about it. I was hoping to see how he ended up working with Rasputin.
Because it was after the events on the stage, I'm pretty sure.
Wait, what?
Oh no, it wasn't, was it?
It was like during the time when there was still an emperor.
Oh yeah, I don't know what the whole Bartok movie was about when really at the end of the day. It was just made for kids.
It was just filler.
Yeah.
They just got a swap combo, just to tell you, so that's gonna...
Ah, shit.
You remember what a swap combo is, right?
Okay.
It's where you complete something on the board and let the punishment kind of ride over. You can let something like fall down, you see, and if it combos, then it'll do something. But yeah, so like the thing is, I think the biggest failure of Bartok is the fact that it just doesn't answer any questions. It doesn't expand on anything as part of Anastasia. You know?
Yeah.
It's pretty much irrelevant. Literally the only connection besides Bartok to the movie of Anastasia is that the person that he's... I can't remember if he's working for him, the Emperor of Russia, is clearly an ancestor of Anastasia.
It was her dad. She was the lost princess.
That was her dad?
Oh, well, I don't know. Well, in the movie, when she was the princess that went missing and she had memory loss.
But I'm talking about in Bartok the Magnificent.
Oh god, I'm not sure.
So, it's just, it's to me actually became the perfect example of how not to do a prequel. Because it's fine fluff, you know, without thinking about the prequel. But the thing is, when it comes to what it should have done, it needed to do something to connect it more with the movie Anastasia, and to maybe give some kind of greater appreciation.
Or what their intention was.
No, it wasn't. I know actually. So, You see, it is sometimes. So I think the actor who played Bartok was Hank Azaria, who is, if I recall correctly, he's in The Simpsons. And did you know that I hope I'm remembering this right, that he was a producer on Bartok the Magnificent?
Oh god, I'm not like...
So, he was helping to fund the movie, maybe not necessarily from his own pocket, but from friends of his.
I won.
In order to, I guess he thought that Bartok was a character that could that a lot of people could get.
Rich girl! Oh, I like all these new girls! Oh, because I also really like the rich girls!
If you go from 2.8 to 2.10, it's just all been girls that you really like now.
Oh, okay. Darn it!